After the first baby was delivered, I'd said, I can't do this again. I was a little bit nervous about the second baby being born. I'd never done 2 in a row like that. I can't do that again.
I remember, and I'll never forget this, I looked at Zara, and she was in complete tears. She was just sobbing, but the happiest I think I've ever seen her.
Oh my God!
I'll never forget her face, how happy she was, you know? I mean, if I could relive that moment many times over, I'd be extremely happy. It was kind of a culmination, I think, of all the pain she's gone through in her whole life, and I think it washed away right there.
It's amazing to go through so much to get to that point, and then in just one split second, life is perfect. All the pain, all the suffering, just literally in one moment was lifted away.
You know, everybody used to say, you know, oh, just wait until the babies get here. You're gonna be so tired. You're gonna be so worn out. It was the total opposite. It was when they were born, it was literally, I mean, it was like the weight of the world was off my shoulders. And finally, I could relax for the first time in 9 years. I'll never forget that day.
Today, after we leave, we're going over to Gina's house because we want her kids to be able to meet the babies, see what their mom has been going through. And so we wanted them to have the opportunity to have, you know, maybe a little closure and say goodbye to Gina and James. You have the camera, Jason? Yeah.
I have a sense of accomplishment when I see these babies. I mean, it was something that I would never have imagined a long time ago, you know, that I'd ever do. And, you know, it all turned out great. And, you know, I could have asked for a better experience, really. Can you believe that they were in Mommy's belly a couple weeks ago? Unbelievable. You wanna hold them?
Gina did a really good job. She started out, she was throwing up a lot, but she did really well. She did really well. She's a trooper. I'm proud of Gina and what she did. She's amazing.
This is the highlight for me right here. And now, see, I'm gonna cry. I made it this whole time and didn't cry. But this is it right here. This is what it was for. And I'm so happy that they're okay. That was the hardest part for me, was when they were born and they needed help breathing, and, you know, they were early, so I struggled with that because, you know, even though there's nothing I could do to keep them in longer, I felt guilty and responsible for them. So I'm just glad that they're out and they're going home now.
We get to take them home and start our lives with them, but it's been wonderful spending time with her and her family, and, you know, I'm just overwhelmed with what she did and her family did for us.
We've developed such a close friendship, and I mean, it's been just a great experience, and it'll be, you know, like a bittersweet thing. They're going home, and that's where they're supposed to be, but I will miss them. I'll miss Stephanie a lot too. And Jason, you too.
It's not goodbye for good or anything like that. It's just a goodbye for now. It's not like it's a permanent goodbye.
All right, I'm just gonna take a nap here if you guys want to go on.
All right, we're gonna go get a good night's sleep then at the hotel.
Yeah, nice try. Nice try.
It's your turn to take over now.
The cost range for intended parents who want to go through surrogacy is anywhere from close to zero to possibly a couple $100,000. It depends on many, many factors.
One is, are you going to get pregnant the first time? Are you going to have twins, which costs a little bit more?
Also, whether or not they're working with an agency, whether or not they have an agency fee, and whether or not they have health insurance to cover the in vitro fertilization. And then, of course, if it doesn't work the first time, then they have to pay that again.
We try very hard to be transparent with the costs involved. We always tell people what both the standard costs are as well as what the potential costs are.
Between agency fees and the surrogacy fees and things that aren't covered with insurance and medicine, about 50,000.
The general public might think that surrogates are doing this purely for financial reasons. The money in it is not very much. It's just it's a compensation that you should have, otherwise it's abusive.
We do get paid, which we should. It's a very hard thing on our bodies. My body went through the ringer and back.
If you're a first-time surrogate, it's typically about $20,000. That's the average we see. And with each surrogacy, as you're proven, you can increase your compensation. And so the large range would probably be about $15,000 to maybe $35,000, depending on your experience.
For everything you go through, it's enough in some ways. In some ways, it's not.
I broke it down one time and it came out to like $3 or $4 an hour.
There's a lot of surrogates who don't even have compensation or have just expenses.
Generally, their base compensation is divided between 10 months. It usually starts the first of the month following the baby's heartbeat confirmation, and then it continues every month thereafter. Whatever is due at the birth, the remaining sum is given.
With Diane and Chuck, my relationship, it is a business. I'm doing a service for them. But Diane's very involved. She's very caring. In a way, she reminds me of my mom.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Chucky.
You're welcome.
You just expect it. You don't think it's going to be a problem. Because all your other friends are moms. There's moms and children all over the place. Everybody's a mom. And then when you don't have, it's not easy for you. You have to find all these different ways. And I feel very blessed that I found a way.
We started with this couple a year ago, and we've had quite a few setbacks. Our last transfer was August 22nd, and we were pregnant for 5 weeks and 3 days. And I had some bleeding, and we went in the next day for an ultrasound that was already scheduled. And Jay went with me because he knew I was stressing out. And the ultrasound lady, you could just tell on her face, things didn't look right. He didn't feel comfortable with her expression either, because he asked 3 times while we were in there, so how's everything look? And she had the screen turned. And then they finally confirmed it. The bleeding started, the cramping started, I couldn't walk. I was down for like 3 days. I had never experienced a miscarriage before, and I feel sorry for what women go through. Physically, I was worn out with the shots and all the medication and the appointments and all the work that I had put into it. And hear the excitement in Diane's voice, and she was checking on me all the time, and then I felt like a failure. It was kind of knocked me down a peg with my confidence as a surrogate, because with my next, if I do this again, I can't go into the couple and say, I get pregnant every time. I don't have that anymore. I actually wanted to not continue with this couple after the miscarriage. I was really frustrated. It took a lot of persuading for me to stay. It was Jay that convinced me that I need to continue this time. If it wouldn't have been for Jay, I wouldn't be transferring tomorrow. I was gonna quit and give up.
She wasn't real sure about how everything went so bad the first time, if she wanted to do it again, but I didn't think it was right for the other people if we didn't at least give it a shot.
We're to the end either way. We signed up to do one more attempt with this couple. So if it doesn't work tomorrow, we're not gonna continue with this couple, and they're aware of that. I hope I get pregnant tomorrow. The bleeding?
No.
Well, I'm hoping to meet them one day. My first surrogate wanted to meet me when he turned 18, and then he didn't, which was fine. His mom wrote and said, you know, he just wasn't ready. I think that'd be really cool, just to see the resemblance too. Because I know Michael looks a lot like my son, so that would be interesting to see them side by side. Yeah, I think about that a lot.
I don't really think of the two boys that I've had as being partly my sons or partly half siblings to my sons. And I say that because technically I have two half siblings out there. But I don't look at it as that they're my half siblings. I just see them as a child that my mom gave birth to.
They know who their mother is. This is my mother. This is the woman that raised me. That is my mom. She's the one that gave birth to me.
All they know is that the mommy's tummy was broken, so I'm holding the baby. And when the baby was big enough to go home, the baby went home, and that's their baby. It has no relationship to us.
I want them to know that they have two brothers out there, but I'm not sure I want them to really get into that whole, hey, I want to find my long-lost brother. As far as when they get older, if the couples raise their children and they would like for them to have the interaction, by all means.
When I see the pictures, I see me, I see a part of my boys in him. It's a great feeling. I just feel a little more connected to him and to the family because he is biologically part mine. I would hope one day that my sons will meet them. I would like to go to Germany to visit them one day. Later this week, I will be taking a mini vacation with Robert to go to Canada.
This is my first time out of the U.S., so I finally got my first stamp of my passport. Woohoo! We are here today to sightsee in Vancouver. And tomorrow we will be meeting up with my second couple. Little mini reunion. I am so excited. I bet he's gotten so big. 9 months, at that age, they grow really fast.
My heart's pumping really fast.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Robert, how's it going? Good to see you. Welcome to Vancouver.
Hi. Isn't he the cutest? Hey, Robert, how are you? Good. How are you guys doing? Good, thanks.
Who's that? Do you remember her? Anyone, come on in.
I was not expecting to get teary-eyed when I got here. It was just an overwhelming feeling, and I was just kind of went with it.
How are you?
Almost walking. You'll be walking within a month or so, I think. Yeah.
I can't believe how
big you are. You were little.
He's really active.
You were little when I saw you.
Loves to crawl.